ニゲーミング行こうよアニよ楽しい冒険スタートだ
Welcome everyone to otakusandgeeks.com Annie Gaming. This is episode 20. Wow, didn't think I was going to get to 20, but want to thank everyone who's been supporting this particular playlist on the channel. I have so much fun doing this one, just reliving old games that I used to play and new ones that I haven't played that were released only in Japan, and now due to the magic of whatever, I'm now able to play it. So let's talk about today's game, Gundam, the 3D battle for the Nintendo DS. And this was developed by Art Dink and published by Namco Bandai Games, and it was released in Japan on March 24th, 2011. This was just a month after the Nintendo 3DS launch. It was part of the early wave of the 3DS titles aimed at showcasing the handheld's 3D functionality. Art Dink, known for their work on niche simulation and mecha games like Macross Ultimate Frontier, leaned into their experience with licensed properties to create a game that could resonate with Gundam fans while offering accessible 3D action gameplay for newcomers. At the time, Gundam games were a huge fixture on Sony platforms, especially the PSP. But the 3D representation of it gave an opportunity to experiment with new audiences. The goal was to deliver a combat mission-based mobile suit action experience that took advantage of the game's classic-free 3D feature to enhance battlefield immersion, particularly during dogfights and high-speed space combat. So, how was the story and the structure of it? Well, rather than following a single narrative, Gundam the 3D battle offered a mission mode that covered iconic events from several classic Gundam series. Mobile Suit Gundam, the original Gundam series, Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, and Mobile Suit Gundam Char's Counterattack. Players could select a faction, Earth Federation, the Zeon, F the Zeon by the way, Titans, just to name a few. Complete key battles from each series and unlock new suits and equipment along the way. However, the game kept story elements extremely light, mostly offering short mission briefings without cutscenes. This put the focus solely on the action rather than a dramatic retelling of our favorite series. So, when it came to the gameplay in the 3D battle was heavily mission oriented. It focused on bite-sized combat scenarios ideal for handheld play. Players pilot mobile suits and third-person perspectives across land, sea, and space environments with basic controls including lock-on targeting, range shooting and beam saber attacks, dash maneuvers and boosting, and of course, quick transformations for certain mobile suits like the Zeta Gundams. The game featured a customization system where players could upgrade mobile suits with different weapons, shields, and stat enhancements earned through the battle's performances. This was a clear RPG like progression feel, with the ability to strengthen your favorite suit and build a custom loadout suited to your playstyle. Combat was fairly fast paced, especially compared to the older Gundam games, but it was simplified. There were few combos or tactical elements compared to the more deeper entries like Gundam Versus or Battle Assault series. Still, dogfights could get intense thanks to the number of enemies and the 3D depth, which gave a real sense of distance between yourself and enemies and missiles Wilson Pass. The AI was serviceable, offering a decent challenge on higher difficulties, though sometimes the allies, let's just say, felt a bit passive. Now, when it came to the graphics and the 3D effects, graphically, Gundam the 3D battle was clean, colorful, but not particularly detailed, and that's understandable given that this was a launch Windows 3DS title. Mobile suit models were sharp and recognizable with faithful recreations of famous mechs like the RX-78, the Zaku 2, just to name a few, but textures were basic and environments were mostly or minimally detailed. Think like flat space fields, sparse cities, and simple asteroid belts. That's pretty much what you saw. The real showcase was the 3D effect. When enabled, the 3D layer added layers of depth that made the mobile suits pop off the screen and gave battles a cool toy box kind of life sensation. Missiles and beam shots traveled vividly through the screen, and mobile suits both in space had a convincing sense of speed and separation and from background objects in terms of showing what the 3DS could feel like when the 3D slider was cranked up. It was a solid early demonstration. However, the 3D on during hectic fights could strain battery life, an issue early for a lot of those 3DS games, and sometimes made aiming trickier if the viewing angle wasn't perfect. Now, one of the great highlights of this game is its music and sound, and you know me, I'm a huge component on how music really enhances a video game and really gives us that experience. The soundtrack mostly consists of instrumental versions of famous Gundam themes, and you see this a lot in the Japan only exclusive anime games because they still have the rights. I don't know why it's so difficult when it's really made or it comes to the states that there seems to be like a licensing issue what type of music is able to be featured, but the music was really good in his. You will recognize songs from the first Gundam, Zeta, and Char's counterattack, but there wasn't a huge variety of tracks, which could make missions feel a bit samey during long sessions. Sound effects such as the beam rifle blast, explosions, the mobile suit engine noises were authentic to the anime and the source material, giving you that extra bit of nostalgia for a long time fans like myself. And voice acting, while minimum, mostly limited to a few exclamations and callouts rather than full-fledged dialogue scenes, does its job very well. Overall, I would have to say that Gundam 3DS, or I would say Gundam the Battle 3D, is just an absolute blast. It really is a blast. Even though it was never localized outside of Japan, it remains a hidden curiosity for import enthusiasts, and it's an interesting what if experiment on Gundam on a new handheld frontier. Today, it's finally remembered by hardcore fans but largely forgotten compared to bigger Gundam games out there. And I will have to say, if you manage to get your hands on it, definitely check it out. It is a fun game to play. It's a blast. I enjoy playing this, and as you can see from my gameplay recording. So, my friends, this is Justin from Annie Gaming. This was episode 20. Comment below, let me know what did you think of Gundam, the 3D battle. Did you play it? Did you not? This is something that you always want to play. Let's talk about it in the comment section. I will be back with episode 21, and I will be changing the format up because from now on, I will also play a level, and if I'm playing a fighting game, I'll do a fight so you can actually see the production and the fruits of all these developers' labor. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you like what we do here, please hit that subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bells, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace, love, and happiness to you all. Later days.